A new chapter in the dispute over Greenland and a new chapter in the trade war between the United States and Europe. Starting on February 1st, 2026, all of the above-mentioned countries, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Finland, will be charged a 10% tariff on any and all goods sent to the United States of America. On June 1st, 2026, the tariff will be increased to 25%. European countries want to prepare a joint response in the coming days, and today, a meeting of EU ambassadors was held behind closed doors in Brussels to discuss the matter. Allies should not treat each other this way, and that is why I consider this to be blackmail. We have until February 1st to truly present a united front. Greenland and Denmark are not up for discussion. Germany, France, and the Netherlands, the EU's largest exporters to the US, could lose the most from the new tariffs. The US is the main market for goods from the European Union: vehicles, industrial machinery, and pharmaceuticals. President Trump also has a lot to lose in this escalation of tariffs, as do his farmers and manufacturers. Less than 2 weeks ago, the Polish Prime Minister criticized the United States and tried to scare them with the collapse of NATO. Tusk has now fallen silent. Italy, like Poland, is not on the list of countries subject to new tariffs mentioned by President Trump, but Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has taken a clear position on the issue, trying to defuse the dispute and speaking of misinterpretation on both sides of the Atlantic. I believe that imposing new sanctions today is a mistake. It is necessary to resume dialogue on this issue and avoid escalation, and that is what I am working on. I spoke with Donald Trump a few hours ago and told him what I think. Although the Americans are clear about their expectations, they want to talk and persuade their European partners.
I don't foresee military intervention in Greenland. It's a small population of people, and I think diplomatic channels is the way to go, and I think the president's appointment of an envoy.
Even Donald Trump's political opponents in the United States, while criticizing him for the tone and pace of the debate on Greenland, share his view of the island's strategic importance to U.S. security.
As the climate changes, as the sea ice retreats, as shipping routes change, there are legitimate reasons for us to explore ways to invest better in Arctic security broadly, both in the American Arctic and in our NATO partners and allies.
The Danish themselves recognize the threat from Russia.
The way that we see the world is that when the war in Ukraine is over, hopefully with a good result for Ukraine, we expect that Russia will move some of their capabilities and the resources into other theaters. It could be the Baltic Sea region, it could be the North Sea, it could be the Arctic. In order to be ready for that, we simply have to step up and we have to train that.
American interest in Greenland is a result of intensifying global competition with China and Russia, which are also increasing their military activity there.
The new domain of international competition is going to be polar competition. That is where more and more resources are being spent by our nation's adversaries and rivals, is the ability to control movement, navigation, lanes of travel in the polar and Arctic regions. Greenland is 25% larger than Alaska. Greenland is the size of 1/4 of the continental United States. With respect to Denmark, Denmark is a tiny country with a tiny economy and a tiny military. They cannot defend Greenland, they cannot control the territory of Greenland.
Greenland is the largest island in the world that is not a continent, still mostly covered by ice, with a population of only 56,000. It is an autonomous part of Denmark, although some of its inhabitants have been demanding full independence for years.